Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Saskatchewan could be adding another game-changing industry to its mining portfolio. One of the largest alumina deposits on Earth has been found near Tisdale. At an announcement this morning, the company behind the discovery says 1/3 of the world's global supply of alumina, a key component in aluminum, was found in a relatively small area. That makes it attractive to mine and cost-effective, and a potential mine site could supply North America with aluminum for hundreds of years. The Premier says the project is nothing short of transformational for the province's economy and the country's natural resource history.
I'm particularly excited about this because, to answer and clarify for the earlier question, do I think this has the realm to be in that scope of discussion like uranium and potash coming from Saskatchewan? Yes, I certainly do.
Canada Energy Metals, which is running the project, says work on the $6.3 billion project is in its initial stages, and there's plenty of work to do before getting to the mining stage. Former students of the Isle Across School and the federal government have signed a proposed settlement agreement Thursday. It follows an agreement in principle that was reached last year to resolve class action over harms linked to the school, which ran from the 1860s to 1970s. Under the proposal, Ottawa would give up to $10,000 for those who attended less than 5 years and up to $15,000 for former students who spent 5 years or more at the institution. An independent administrator would determine the amount for each individual. A court hearing is set for the end of March when a judge decides if the deal is fair. If approved, survivors will be able to apply for compensation through the third party. A woman was sentenced to more than 9 years in prison in the death of a 24-year-old mother. Chelsea Crow pleaded guilty to being party to an assault and unlawful confinement of Taya Sinclair. Sinclair's body was found burned at a snow dump in southwest Prince Albert in March 2022. She was a mother of two and was reported missing a day earlier. 59-year-old Michael Smilly pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder in Sinclair's death and is currently on trial. It was a tense moment in a Saskatoon courtroom today after a man accused of killing his girlfriend was found not guilty. Andrew Rosenfeld was acquitted of second-degree murder in the death of his girlfriend, 20-year-old Nakira Brown. As the judge delivered the verdict, Brown's mother stood up in the gallery, interrupting proceedings, shouting a comment about domestic violence. Sheriffs surrounded the courtroom as she continued to yell. Brown was found shot in the head on November 15, 2022, inside the apartment the couple shared. The Crown argued Rosenfeld killed Brown, while the defense maintained the shooting was a suicide. The judge said her role was not to choose between those two explanations, but to decide whether the Crown proved guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
From the start of this case, I personally believe that I was representing an innocent client. And in cases like that, it's very difficult. There's a lot at stake. Obviously, this was a very emotional trial.
The Crown has 30 days to file a notice of appeal. A 24-year-old man has been charged after a police vehicle was struck by an ATV. Just after 5 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon, RCMP responded to an assault in Turner Lake. Officers found the suspect on an ATV when they tried to stop it by using a police cruiser to block the road. They say the suspect hit it with the ATV. No one was injured. The police vehicle sustained minor damage. The suspect left the scene but was later arrested. Melfort RCMP hope releasing these images will help identify suspects involved in a theft. RCMP responded to a property in Invergordon Monday for a report of a garage theft. Investigation found suspects stole tools and other items driving a truck that was reported stolen in Humboldt Sunday. Melfort RCMP received reports that the suspect vehicle stole fuel from a business in Archerville and fled on Highway 6. RCMP found the vehicle near Mescana, where the suspect stole a second vehicle and fled. The second vehicle has not been located. It's described as a 2012 white Dodge Ram with Saskatchewan plate 319KDQ. RCMP asked anyone with information about these individuals to submit a tip. A string of break-and-enters in central Saskatchewan this month have RCMP asking for tips from the public. Between January 5th and 8th, RCMP responded to multiple break-and-enters in Craik, Davidson, Purdue, Bigger, and Unity. RCMP got footage of what's believed to be a man trying to break into a building in Unity on January 7th at around 11:30. Officers got more footage of what's believed to be the same man during a break-and-enter on 7th Avenue in Unity a short time later. If anyone recognizes this individual, they're asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Well, Jeff, we've almost made it to the weekend, and there'll be lots of hockey fans making the trip up and down the 11 this weekend. But what kind of weather are we going to be having?
We're looking at some pretty good thing we have artificial ice, because it is going to be warm. We have ourselves some pretty mild conditions, John, and they're going to be staying in those mild conditions will be staying in place for at least a week. As we've been talking about last little while, this warm Pacific air moving in from British Columbia through Alberta into Saskatchewan. Finally, we'll start to make Manitoba warm up, but we are going to be seeing some very warm conditions as we wrap up the month of January, move into February. In fact, we may see some plus temperatures, and we'll talk about that later on.
We're getting another exclusive look inside the provincial air base in La Ronge, where crews work to keep the water bombers critical in defending Saskatchewan communities ready.
So it's everything normal like the plane, and then they went and added this big bomb tank on here.
This is the newest addition to Saskatchewan's firefighting fleet, a Q400 land-based air tanker. A former commercial turboprop, it's been converted for firefighting and can carry 12,000 liters of fire retardant. Inside, the cabin is stripped down to reduce weight and allow access for maintenance. Nearby is a water bomber capable of landing on both water and runways. 2 scoops beneath the plane can collect about 4,500 liters of water in just 9 seconds. Every part of the planes are carefully inspected, right down to the bolts, to ensure they're safe to fly.
We have to take extra parameters and inspections to thoroughly look to make sure that our performance of our aircraft for the summertime is working at its max performance, and ultimately the safety of our pilots flying it.
During the wildfire season, crews follow the planes across the province to handle maintenance and inspections. It's hoped new state-of-the-art equipment at RUH will better help care for cardiac patients. Royal University Hospital Foundation unveiling newly renovated cardiology suites earlier today. The foundation says the suites replace aging infrastructure with modern technology designed to improve patient outcomes and meet the growing demand for complex cardiac care. The cardiac program at RUH provides diagnostic testing, allowing specialists to diagnose and treat life-threatening heart conditions. Officials say having a newer space offers better workflow, reduces delays for procedures, and helps deliver time-sensitive interventions.
We're able to elevate care that's already being provided by governments, and working together with donors, we're able to create some really transformational and innovative opportunities.
When it comes to cardiology care, it's allowed us to provide the full service of cardiac care to the province of Saskatchewan that can't be provided anywhere else.
The cardiology suites were finished at the end of last year. Up to 20 procedures are performed per day. When we return, an open house for potential MMA athletes. Jasmine Pelche rolls into the Lab BJJ to learn about the open house for kids.
We are at the Lab BJJ with Coach Daniel to talk about an upcoming open house that's going to be happening here. So you've got an open house coming up. Who is it for?
It's for any kids under the age of 12, and we go as young as 6, but in some cases, some kids' size and demeanor, they might be a little bit younger, but they can join in as well.
What is the reason for wanting to have an open house for kids?
The primary reason is awareness for Jiu-jitsu in general. I know there's a couple of clubs in town, but it's usually more word of mouth. And for parents, I think that there might be some hesitation in signing a kid up for, or a child up for our program without knowing much about if their child's going to like it or not. And so with that, the open house brings an opportunity where they can come see firsthand if not only their children like it, but if the atmosphere is good and a good fit for them.
So you run a kids program and an adults program, is that accurate?
Yes, I'm the head of the kids program. There's an adult program that also runs with our times, we usually run first, and then adult program runs after. Our program runs Mondays and Thursdays. We start at 5:35 and run to about 6:15. It's a much shorter class than the kids' class, or than the adults' class. And then the adults' class runs directly after.
What sort of things are going to be happening at the open house? Like, how interactive is it, I guess?
It's fully hands-on. We run right into drills, and they're jiu-jitsu style drills, so there's some physical element in there. We try to balance with jiu-jitsu, we try to balance fun with instruction. And so we'll play some games. We'll do a warm-up that will directly correlate to what we teach, and then what we teach is usually some awareness strategies for situations that a child or adults might find themselves in. It gives some awareness for safety concerns in environments, urban environments. It also helps kids with coordination and timing, following directions and stuff.
When is the open house and where can people go?
So the open house will be on February 2nd on Groundhog Day. It will start at 5:35. You can come here sooner. We'll try to start at around 5:45 and run to 6:15. It might run a little bit later depending on how well things are going in that. And it's free of charge. There's no charge for it.
Do you have other open house events throughout the year?
I do. I try to run 3. I've run 2 since I've taken over the program this year, just logistically speaking for myself. But I try to run them at least twice a year.
If someone's looking to find out more information, where can they go?
They can, if you just Google the Lab BJJ, the website will come up. Also, there's posts, there's some reviews there if you're ever considering, and then my information and the information about this program and the open house are on the PA Events website and the calendar.
All right, sounds great. Thanks for having me down here.
Thank you.
All right, we're in a basement, just to clarify why I said down here.
Still ahead, Jeff looks at the weekend weather warm-ups, plus a new approach to treat cancer without the damaging effects of radiation. Jeff, we kind of teased it, but there's a lot of people that will be on those highways over the weekend. And you said there'll be some pretty good roads, at least, hopefully.
There's some pretty good road conditions. You know, if we get a little bit of snow, it just might be messy in terms of mush. But all in all, things are looking very mild as we roll into the weekend and beyond. Thanks, John. We'll take a look at what's going on the West Coast. Lots of rain there. That warm Pacific air is coming our way and warming things up. And that includes the province of Manitoba. Now, we might see a little bit of flurry activity, maybe 2 to 4 centimeters of snow. So as I mentioned earlier on, we might get some of that in the way of some snow or some rain, depending where we are. And there is the potential for some freezing rain. We're hoping the timing on that does not create issues on those highways that we were talking about earlier on. So we'll keep that in mind as we roll into Saturday. -7 for Spiritwood overnight, the same for the Battlefords. -10 in Candle Lake, an overnight temperature of -9. Yes, folks, these are the overnight temperatures. -9 in Birch Hills, -11 in Rostern, -13 in Nipawin, and -12 in Melfort. And keep in mind, -12 degrees for, generally speaking, this region is a typical daytime high. So the warm conditions persist as we make our way into tomorrow. -1 for Spiritwood, 2 on the plus side for the Battlefords, -3 in Candle Lake and Birch Hills, -2 in Rostern, -4 in Melfort and Nipawin, -6. Possibility of greater accumulation snow-wise in Nipawin and Melfort. But all in all, we don't expect this to be a day-long event. So here we go. -11 degrees, periods of light snow tonight, sort of on again, off again, and then winds out of the south 20, and then backing off. And then as we roll into Saturday, -2 degrees, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow expected to accumulate. Winds out of the northwest at 20, gusting to 40, so that -2 will feel a little chillier, but it's -2, come on. -8 on Sunday, Monday to start the work week, -11, but then bouncing back to these warmer than seasonal temperatures. 2 degrees on Wednesday and Thursday, -8 on Friday. So all in all, at or above seasonal temperatures for the next 7 days. And it looks like February, at least the first half of February, is going to be on the mild side. So things are looking good in that respect.
Well, it's kind of like we were spending the last few weeks in the back of a dairy truck trying to get back to home so that we could get our kid that was missing. There's a little nod to
There you go, absolutely.
All right, Jeff. Well, the University of Saskatchewan women's basketball team remains undefeated this season after last night's game against the Regina Cougars. The Huskies are the top-ranked team in the country, the Cougars number 4. A dominant second quarter, though, where the Huskies outscored the Cougars 23-5 was the difference maker. The Cougars unable to close the gap, and Saskatchewan wins 63-45. The Huskies have now won 47 consecutive games dating back to November 2024. The record for consecutive wins belongs to the University of Winnipeg, who won 88 straight games from 1992 to 95. Saskatchewan heads to Regina Saturday for the rematch. Dozens of blind and visually impaired skiers from around the world are in Kananaskis this week. They're taking part in an annual event to connect with others who understand the challenges of living with sight loss. Mark Villani has more.
Matt Jans is visually impaired, but he's never let that stop him from doing the things he loves.
For me in my life, it's always just been a constant puzzle of how do I keep doing this stuff.
And it's a puzzle being solved by more than 80 participants with limited to no sight at the William Watson Lodge in Kananaskis. The 48th annual Ski for Light event aims to break down disability barriers and build a stronger community.
You know, I haven't had to advocate for myself one time this whole week, which is a huge load off my mind, because everyone just understands what I'm going through. I understand what they're going through, and then we just are instantly bonded. Do you ski lots in Denmark?
Sven Mogensen is one of those people making new friendships. He's found a new passion for cross-country skiing after losing his vision at a young age.
I feel free. I have the liberty to move without having physical contact with somebody else.
Meanwhile, Ruri Takeuchi came all the way from Japan as a guide for blind skiers, hoping to learn more about how to help others.
I want to make a business for special needs people.
There's amazing people here that have no vision, and I'm blown away by how well they function independently.
And this woman brings new meaning to independence. Tracy Musso is legally blind and an amputee, but she's adapted by learning how to sit ski on the trails.
Use your arms and your core to move. If you really enjoy skiing, there's always a way to get around it.
We're here to ski, but we build community here. And it's not just about the skiers, it's about the volunteer guides who show up.
Curving right here, curving right. You get to know what they need to know to be able to have a good time on the trail, and you can adjust yourself to their preferences.
That trust and support is what makes all the difference.
And that's when you really start living your life again.
Mark Villani, CTV News in Kananaskis.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
A technique first tried on a toddler at Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto almost 20 years ago is now being scaled nationwide. As Pauline Chan tells us, it's aimed at avoiding radiation on a baby's developing brain.
Remember of that.
To be honest, the only thing I remember was like waking up in the morning just to get like the pokes in my Omaya.
CJ Brown was just 2 when he was diagnosed with a lethal brain tumor known as ATRT. And when he didn't respond fully to surgery and chemotherapy, Dr. Annie Huang faced a dilemma. She could use radiation to destroy the tumor in his brain, but she had seen the devastating effects radiation typically had on a young, rapidly developing brain.
They're completely dependent. So we do them a disservice. We've cured their tumor, but we've left them with a life that's not what they should have had.
But she had seen good results in leukemia patients of a different technique, and she hoped she could modify it to get chemotherapy directly to the brain and cerebrospinal fluid.
I was just hoping, to buy them some time.
The technique, using something called an Omaya reservoir, bought CJ not just time, but a healthy, normal childhood.
The kid's looking at you, having lunch, whatever, and you pop it and you put the chemo in. So that way they don't have to be anesthetized.
Now they're beginning to use this approach in centers across Canada.
We've now started to extrapolate to other types of cancers that arise in these very young children. So the majority are still going to be ATRT, but we have some other tumors called ETMR, which is somewhat of a different flavor, but also, in fact, more aggressive than ATRT.
Dr. Huang says more sophisticated technology now is allowing them to better identify and track the cancers and their response to the therapy.
Well, it feels good for me to know it helps other kids.
And CJ, now a healthy, cancer-free 20-year-old, is happy his childhood challenges have inspired hope for others. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
So, Jeff, you've ever been to the airport and thought you were going to be late for your flight, or maybe you get to the terminal and the flight is delayed? Well, there's something like that going on these days. The mission carrying Canadian Jeremy Hansen and 3 other astronauts around the moon has been delayed. The first Artemis flight with a crew is now scheduled for no earlier than Sunday, February 8th. That's 2 days later than planned because of near-freezing temperatures in the forecast. A fueling test is now expected on Monday as the crew remains in quarantine in Houston. Their arrival at Kennedy Space Center in Florida is uncertain at this time. NASA's only got a handful of days in any given month to launch its first lunar crew in more than half a century. So there you go, a little bit more delay and I guess more fanfare for those who love that space flight stuff.
Well, I do love that space flight stuff, and they have to be super, super careful, obviously. And so if there are, and this has happened before when they've had weather issues and they say they got to scrub a flight, so that only makes sense. So
yep, absolutely. Well, you better safe than sorry, right? Probably,
no kidding.
A handful of people's allowance money have gone into making that flight work, so you don't want it to kind of hit a snag halfway through. There you go.
Yeah, no, it's how much time do we have, Clint?
Good question.
20 seconds. All I can say is, look, years ago, I was in Florida, and I didn't get to see it, but Rob Susky from C95, he and Ramblin' Dave got to see a launch where you can still get relatively close to the Cape Canaveral.
That'd be an experience.
Yes, it was.
Have a great weekend.